Thank you for joining us on Core TV News at 4. I am Frank Omalapen here. Some of the stories we're filing now. Inspector General Police Sulaiman Abba has ordered a prosecution of suspected political thugs and miscreants arrested during ongoing crackdown on political violence in some parts of the country. Police spokesman Emmanuel Dujuku said in a statement issued in Abuja that the suspect will be prosecuted regardless of their status. He confirmed that a number of suspects have been arrested in connection with outbreak of violence during political campaigns at different locations. The police also maintained that it will not condone any act of hooliganism from any quarters while urging politicians to play the game by the rules. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission has met with the leadership of all the registered parties with a view to keep them informed on preparation for next month's election. The Commission also used the opportunity to listen to concerns of party leaders in the run-up to the election. Many of them hailed INEC's preparation but want it to be categorical in rejecting calls for elections to be postponed. Our correspondent Pius Samuel has more.
It is one in a series of meetings called by INEC to keep party leaders abreast of its preparations for the February polls. But this time, INEC says it will not only update the politicians, but will also listen to their areas of concern with a view to ensuring the credibility of the 2015 polls.
We would like to continue to appeal to all stakeholders to join hands with us in addressing these challenges, in particular, urging Nigerians to be patient with the delays in the distribution of the cards, but to also remain resolute in coming out to collect their permanent voters' cards. We believe that the use of the permanent voters' cards will go a long way to improve the integrity of the electoral process.
Now, the party leaders here are keen on making their displeasure known over the spate of hate speech and violence that have erupted in some parts of the country. After condemning the violent acts, the Inter-Party Advisory Council threatened legal action against any party found to have breached the Abuja Accord on non-violence.
We want to advise strongly that day-to-day distribution of this particular PVC should be made known to the Nigerian public to give them confidence that INEC is on the right track. The Inter-Party Advisory Council have also set up a committee to monitor the activities of the campaign going on, and we will not fail to initiate a court action against any erring political party, as was contained in the Code of Conduct and by extension the Abuja Peace Accord.
Some of the party leaders expressed confidence in INEC's ability to deliver on its promise, but also raised concern over agitations in some quarters for the elections to be postponed.
We want to work with INEC. We understand the limitations of INEC, but political parties are tremendous mobilizing agents. This election must go on. There is no going back on this election. It must go on the 14th of February and on the 20th of February.
INEC also used the occasion to reaffirm its call on all eligible and registered voters to collect their permanent voters' cards from designated centers across the country. Pius Samuel, Core TV News, Abuja.
A group of youth under the banner of Nigerian Youth for Credible Elections on Tuesday held a peaceful march in Abuja to demand that general elections be held as scheduled. Members of the group say there is no basis for any individual or group to demand for the elections to be moved to a later date. The protesters took their message to the secretariat of the All Progressive Congress, where they maintain that a postponement will only lead to chaos and anarchy.
These young Nigerians have decided to lend their voices to calls on INEC to go ahead with its election calendar. But rather than take to the streets of Abuja in protest, they chose to converge on the APC secretariat to make their voices heard. Amidst the noise, the chant of February 14, elections must hold, is loud and clear.
February 14, election must hold. February 14, election must hold. February 14, election must hold. February 14, election must hold.
They say APC secretariat is their first port of call and plan to take their message to other stakeholders including the electoral umpire INEC. There is also a call on youths to shun violence and election rigging.
We believe in our core youths, irrespective of the political party they belong, to advocate for this election to be held on the 14th of February. That is why we came down to this great party, just like every other party, youth leaders, that we must advocate for election more. Oh.
Nigerians have been waiting so long and have endured so much. And time has come where we really, really want to see change happen in our country. And we cannot afford to hear anything short of February 14, 2015.
Not surprising, this passerby is of a similar view.
Because, I mean, I was passing on this road and I saw this and I came out of my car with my friends and my colleagues and I said, that's why I'm talking to you. So I don't believe that.
Addressing the group, leader of the APC Youth Wing expressed support for the advocacy and urged INEC not to bow to undue pressure.
All Progressive Congress, particularly the Youth Wing, is 100% in your support, and we will ensure that what you are advocating for, what you are saying, we actually concur with it and also push it forward.
INEC has had to come out to say it is not considering a change of election date, but for these protesters, they will not take chances. They plan to continue to insist on the electoral body sticking to its original calendar, in spite of pressure from some quarters for new dates. Basia Ye, Core TV News, Abuja.
As Nigerians continue to complain about the shorted approach of the Independent National Electoral Commission towards the distribution of the permanent voter cards, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has vowed to vote with his temporary voter card at the February elections. He, however, added that this will see the light of the day if INEC failed to produce his permanent voter card before the February general elections.
We are talking about PVC. Yes, I don't have PVC. I have the temporary one. And with or without PVC, I'm going to vote. That's their responsibility. Let me be clear. The right to vote when you are 18 is not a gift from any government. It's your entitlement as a citizen. The obligation of government is to make sure that you are able to exercise that right. So nobody is doing us a favor, whether you bring PVC or TVC. The important thing is that you must ensure that we vote. That's your duty.
Less than 3 weeks to the presidential election, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola is confident that APC presidential candidate Mohammed Buhari will emerge victorious at the polls. Fashola stated these are the 2,800 days account of stewardship of his administration in office. Our correspondent Abiola Luwale's report is presented from our studios. Residents across Lagos gathered to listen to 2,800 days account of stewardship of the Fashola administration. After highlighting his accomplishments across different sectors of the economy in the last 100 days, Fashola called on the people to support the candidature of Buhari at the February 14th presidential polls. He, however, added that the party is sure of victory.
They are preparing to hand over. That's what is in their mind. That's not what they intended to say, but that's what is going on in their team. They see that it's over. He said May 29, handover day is sacrosanct. That's what's going on inside their camp. They see it's over. That's why they use the word handover. It was a slip. But it reveals the underbelly. So, and this is why now all of what they are trying to do is that let's shift this thing over. This is the party that has been campaigning for over 1 year.
Fashola also used the platform to deny claims by the Lagos PDP governorship candidate Jimmy Agbaje that the state is underfunding education.
Alarmed when I hear a candidate hiding under an umbrella, seeking to take this job and displaying so much frightening ignorance when he says that we are budgeting 3% for education in Lagos State. Although when I pointed out his error, his scriptwriters have written a new version for him, saying now that what they meant was that it was with primary education. Ladies and gentlemen, he is still wrong.
As the hands of the clock move towards the 2015 general elections, Nigerians are praying fervently for free, fair and credible polls.
The campaign train of President Goodluck Jonathan moved to Plateau State late Monday as his supporters had to wait over 10 hours from the dawn to dusk to see him. The grumblings on the part of some of the people are that despite giving Jonathan the highest vote of over 1 million from the entire North in the 2011 elections, there is no meaningful federal presence in the state. The supporters had to leave in droves before the arrival of the president at 6:30 p.m. The reports.
The issue of African time again played out in Plateau State as hundreds of supporters who were expecting the PDP presidential candidate to address them in the early hours of Monday had to wait for over 10 hours to hear him. Those who could not tolerate the long wait left as the Rangpam Stadium, venue of the campaign exercise, became almost empty. The apology of the PDP chairman in the state, Raymond Dabo, and that of the president seemed not enough to assuage the feelings of the already tired crowd.
Because of the love they have for you, because of the love they have for all the candidates we are presenting on the Plateau, and because of the love they have for the people of Plateau State and for the party, they have been here, Mr. President, 6 a.m. Mr. President, you are welcome to the gateway of the North Central Zone. We did it for you in 2011. We shall do it better in 2015.
The former governor of the state, Joshua Dariye, gave the visiting president hope that Plateau will vote for him en masse because the state has been a stronghold of the ruling party since the inception of the current democratic dispensation.
Anybody who has set his soul on Plateau will always be a winner. Many years ago, the action group came here. When they had crisis, it was resolved on Plateau. And many great Nigerians who have got here have always been winners. Mr. President, tonight, I assure you, we did it in 2011. And I have a very funny background. Having been a founding member of the PDP, I later on went to Labour Party. But we repeated that feat in 2011. Having seen the need to consolidate on the game, we came back to PDP and we will vote you again overwhelmingly. By the grace of God, Plateau is PDP, PDP is good luck. This good luck will carry Nigeria everywhere. South-south, southeast, southwest, northwest. Just put your trust in God. I have always said as a governor, there is nowhere in the world where monuments is built in honor of critics. We will not be deterred. God will help us. Nigeria, we are winning. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Beyond the apology that was given at the rally, there was no explanation for lateness of the Jonathan's campaign team to the state.
The Yoruba socio-political group Afenifere has endorsed President Goodluck Jonathan's bid for a second term in office. It gave its endorsement at a meeting of its members with the president at the residence of Afenifere leader Reuben Fashola in Akure on Tuesday. Spokesman for the group, Yinka Odumake, told reporters after the meeting that the endorsement was predicated on the president's commitment to implementing the recommendations of report of the National Conference in 2014.
Knowing that these decisions reached at this conference are well implemented as a centenary legacy for Nigeria. Just like we remember Lugard for amalgamation, we remember Jonathan for national integration and federalism if this is fully implemented. And finally, we call on the ministerial committee set up on the implementation to ensure that their recommendations include that decisions of this conference should be tested at a referendum where Nigeria will have a final say on a new constitution for Nigeria so that I can move Nigeria along through federalism. Now,
The People's Democratic Movement has denied claims that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar influenced its decision to adopt Muhammad Buhari as its presidential candidate. PDM Chairman Bashir Ibrahim said this shortly after presenting the party's resolution to the All Progressive Congress candidate. He explained that the party's position was informed by Buhari's track record in public service.
It is coming now because the entire process of nomination of candidates had just been concluded. Therefore, unless that process is concluded, we will not know who is the presidential candidate of any other political party. So now that we know that APC has nominated and INEC has accepted the nomination of General Muhammad Buhari, we know he is truly a candidate in this election. Therefore, we decided it is timely now for us to throw our lot with him because we think he's a better candidate.
What we have said summarizes the problem of this country. You have looked thoroughly and you found out this year, 2015, whichever way politicians and the elite want to look at it, is another time or watershed in our political system. If we get it wrong this time and allow the PDP to go again for the next 4 years, this country is going to be in trouble. Right now, with the unfortunate event of the tumbling oil price, the economy is really in a mess.
The federal government has described the position of former central bank governor Charles Soludo as an intellectual flop. It also says his 5-year tenure as the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria was a disaster for the banking sector. Minister of Finance Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said through a statement issued by her special advisor and communications Paul Nwabuku that the article was filed with abusive language. The minister also accused Soludo of misquoting economic facts and turning statistics on their head to justify a hatchet job. You're watching Court TV News at 4. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more stories. Join us again.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
It's Court TV News at 4. If you're just joining us, you can also reach us on our social media platform. It's facebook.com/Court TV News. You can as well follow us at Court TV News NG. And our YouTube page is youtube.com/Court TV. Leave a space, the news. Following the ongoing inquest and struggle as to who becomes the next governor of Imo State, students in their thousands have endorsed the incumbent Rochas Okorocha to continue what they call his good leadership. According to them, Okorocha is the best governor Imo State has ever had. They said if nothing at all, they will continue to love and support him for the free education he has given the youth of the state. Some equally affirmed.
First of all, his ability to recognize education as the key or the basic thing for social development, or rather sustainable development. It has endeared him to students, and he has made it a priority that every every child must go to school, must have access to quality and free education. That's one thing. Secondly, his administration has been able to bridge the gap between the government and the students, thereby making students to understand and appreciate their rights as students in the state. It has given students an enabling environment, both in their social activities, in their academic activities, and otherwise.
We are endorsing our great governor, His Excellency Anayomele Rocha for 2015. We are here out in mass to tell people that there is no vacancy in Douglas House. Let me mention about few. Owele is unique, he's fatherly. He has done what honorable men could not do. He is plain, decent, transparent. Purity is what he deserves. He is what he is. Owele is a man.
Some reiterated their unalloyed support as they said negative stories about Kocha are fabricated by his opponents who are desperately seeking power and assure him of their earnest support.
As the president of Imo State Students, I am also a student, and I can tell you with authentic confirmation that we are on free education. Education is free in Imo State, down from nursery, primary, secondary to university level. Education is free in Imo State. All those things we hear elsewhere, they are mere propaganda, which has been propagated just to scrape down people. But things are working well. We are on free education.
Yeah, thank you very much. My own view, I believe in equity and fairness, which is justice, should prevail. If I may say, Rocha have tried, and they expect me to believe there's nothing impossibility. Because the most things they achieved in Imo State University under 4 years in space administration, I'm looking as if that the government and the accountants acquired will just different from any other administration. Rocha have made us to believe that they are supposed to be governors, and they make the account really accountable to the students. So my own view, I would say that even if that they can rule 2019 to 2024, I will support him.
After visiting the incumbent governor at the Owele Plaza along Okigwe Road and done with the short meeting, they left his palace and took over the street of Owerri as they rally round the Eastern Heartland metropolis. They also converged on the Freedom Square where they demonstrated their strong love for the governor. And now still moving on, more support appears to be coming the way of Imo PDP governorship candidate Emeka Ihedioha. This is evidence in the recent acts of acceptance demonstrated toward him by a traditional ruler and the people of Mbese local government area when he went there to solicit for support. The Mbese people came out in their large number to pledge their loyalty to Ihedioha. A traditional ruler, Eze Obasi, said he will not just support him, but he will also ensure his people toe the same line. He said his decision go beyond Ihedioha being an indigene of Mbese, but because of his credibility and ability to empathize with people regardless of where they come from. The youth also demonstrated their love and support for Ihedioha ahead of the forthcoming general elections.
That means to say that a good product doesn't need so much advertisement, and that is what it is in a simple language. The man in question is a man that has discipline, and you know, in leadership and in governance, discipline is very important, and which means a man can make policies and implement those policies. That is what is called discipline within a governance and within a system. And the man I have seen is a man that has the mantle and the power to be able to enforce discipline, to be able to enforce development, and above all, to make sure that there is a system, an organized system, where that will be beneficial and will be profitable to the people of Imo State at large.
The PDP flag bearer, in his response to the gesture of the people of Mbese, promised them good governance and true dividends of democracy. Former Super Eagles player Kanu Nwako and other prominent Nigerians who hailed from Imo State were also on ground to show support for Ihedioha. Shortly, we'll be back with more stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife and Moten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
Outside Nigeria now, Bullet City passenger jet operated by budget carrier Dubai Aviation Corps, known as Fly Dubai, as it was landing at Baghdad Airport. Aviation and security officials on Tuesday said 2 passengers were lightly injured when 3 or 4 bullets hit the body of the plane, but they were unable to specify the source of the gunfire. Fly Dubai Emirate Airline, Sajara Air Rabaji and Abu Dhabi Etihad Airways suspended flight, also following the incident in line with a directive from the United Arab Emirates Civil Aviation Authority. An investigation is on the way. The aviation official said Iraq had briefly suspended air traffic following the incident, but that most flights had however resumed. And it's a wrap now. Core TV News at 4. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Bye for now.